enter, err, ERR, open paren E,
Okay. E, like
capital E,
E,
capital E.
capital E. Okay. I guess I should have figured that out. Okay.
Comma, enter, close, curlies. That is result right there.
Okay.
So result is an enum, and what an enum is it lets you say that a particular type is either the first thing, the second thing, and that can keep going. Like you could have many variants.
So result is a type of something.
Result is a type
Okay.
that can either be type A, type B, in this case, just A or B. But for example,
Okay.
in PBQFF, I can specify um, the coordinate type as an enum. It can either be symmetry internals, or Cartesians, or normal coordinates.
Okay.
So an enum just lets you say something can be one of these number of things.
Okay.
And
And is
then a really handy thing about enums in Rust is that you can put different data in each of those variants.
okay.
So for example, to go back, does the PBQFF example help? I just thought it might help to be
Yes.
in that domain.
Yes.
So in PBQFF, for example, the symmetry internal coordinate type is allowed to hold an inter file.
Yeah. Right.
I
Okay.
don't need an inter file for Cartesians or normal coordinates.
Right.
So only that variant is what it's called of the enum holds that data.
Okay.
Now, we've introduced something a little bit new here with result with the less than greater than. That just says it's generic,
Okay.
which means that T and E can be any type. So,
T and E. So T and E are also a type.
yeah, T and E are placeholders for any actual type.
Okay.
That's really what generics mean. Is like you're just saying that this data structure can work over many different types of types.
Okay.
Like you can actually write result more simply. Let's do that actually.
Okay.
So delete the less than greater than stuff. That's literally what result looks like in the standard library, which is why I wanted to write it that way. But delete that. Why not inside of OK, instead of T, let's just put in an actual type. How about F64?
Okay.
And then for E, let's just have U size. So that's the same thing, just without the generics. So
Okay.
what this enum is saying is that it can either be OK and give you a float, or it can have an error holding a U size.
Okay.
So that's all result is. And in Rust, people use this to tell you basically if a function succeeded or failed.
Okay.
So what we were doing earlier is either I will give you the string and all the vex if the function succeeds all the way through, or I will pass along the error from
Sure.
failing to operate on the file.
So if the function returned the string and four vectors successfully,
Yeah.
it just returns those types, or it returns, what does it return? It returns the contents of those types.
Um
I think when I'm thinking of like returning something, it is actually literally giving me a thing. Like,
that's
so
right. Yes.
what is it giving? What is it giving me? Is it giving me the stuff that I said that it gave me, or like what is it giving me?
Yes. It gives you things of those types.
Okay.
So when you call loadgeom, it gives you, and you can see this from the inlay hints in main, right? So way over on
Yeah.
the right, you're actually calling loadgeom.
Right.
And then on the left, you're assigning the output to all these variables. And you can see
Okay.
it's giving you contents, which is a string. It's giving you charge, which is a vec size. and then it's
Yes.
giving you
Okay.
X, Y, and Z, which are all vex F64s.
Okay.
That's why when you use the result, it adds one extra layer on that you have to unwrap. So if you wanted that let to work on the left, if low geom returned a result, you would have to unwrap it somehow.
Okay.
Because so that's, I guess this is like a syntactic thing, is whatever's inside these variants on the enum, it says okay, open paren, and then there's something inside, and then a closed paren. To get
Mm-hmm.
that out is basically unwrapping. Like you're unwrapping, taking off the okay, taking off the error to get at the value that's inside.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, that helps. I
Okay.
I think that helps anyway.
Yeah. So this is
And
this is
so,
really powerful. Like in I know I wasn't gonna say I wasn't gonna mention other languages, but just to give you like a flavor for what problem this solves. Let's say if you were writing this function in C, and something went wrong with a with opening the file. I think the usual thing to do is you set some global variable to a number like -1.
okay.
So somebody has to call your function. Then to see if it worked, they go look at like error no, like ERRNO, error number. And if it's
Okay.
-1, then it's like they know it doesn't work. Whereas
Okay.
in Rust, you're able to encode it in this result type.
Okay. And so we essentially just threw all of that away by doing this unwrap stuff.
Kind of, except that the unwraps will crash immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you want to do all this result juggling if when you get the error variant, you can actually do something useful.
Okay.
If you don't care, you can just unwrap. You can always just unwrap.
Okay.
So anytime you see a function returning a result, you can just think in your head, "Oh, gotta unwrap it."
Okay. Unless you can do something interesting or something cool with, or what would you do with the error?
So I
Like,
gave
can
an
you think like
example. Yeah, I gave you an example earlier about like if you have a sensible default value.
okay.
So in this case, right, you've got file open. If that open fails, maybe I want to catch the result. I want to catch the error. And maybe a better example that I use often is I temporarily catch the error. I print an informative message to help the user debug the issue, and
Sure.
then I panic.
Okay.
So that's another thing you could do.
Yeah,
Or
that makes
some
sense.
some errors you can actually catch. For example, um, if there's an error reading from some kind of like internet connection,
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. I just had like a transient internet error. I should retry. So that's another case where
Oh,
you would not unwrap. You want to actually get the error, inspect it, and possibly do something else depending on what it says.
possibly try again if
Yeah,
that's a sensible outcome. Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay.
So
I
results
think I
results are really powerful, which is why they're so confusing at the beginning. Like there's a
I see.
lot here to unpack.
Right. The idea of an an enum, like,
Yeah,
does that stand for something?
yeah. Enumeration. It lets you
Okay.
enumerate all of the possible outcomes.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then essentially what we changed the function to not return result,
Yeah,
change the function to just return the things that we did in the function.
yeah,
And so we had to take away all of the um, remnants of the result type or enum.
yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
We had to take off all the parentheses, right? Like it would have. Remember, it literally looked like this. It said okay, open paren, and then your tuple at the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
We had to get rid of okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now if it doesn't, now if it, so let's just, for some odd reason,
Yeah,
um, my cat accidentally, rm, removes my
Yeah,
geom.txt out of test files, it would just panic. It would just
yeah,
crash.
sure, yeah, yeah.
But
This is a great thing. Like, try it out. That's one of the great things about programming. Like, see what happens. Change the name of the file you're trying to open, and just
yeah,
see what happens.
okay.
Test files, not a real geom.txt, fake file.
geom.tt, dude.
Yeah, TT. You forgot the X. Great. Give it a run.
Result. Oh.
Yeah, failed to
uh,
open file. No such file or directory.
failed to open file, baby. That's
Here,
funny.
now go grab your expect. Remember, like what I was saying earlier, you could put the dot expect on the end of that line.
At the end of this line.
Or wait, oh no, it already, yeah. Your expect already triggered. Never mind. Yeah, so there's your message. Failed to open file, colon, and then that's the actual error message.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So if I still wanted to use result and not unwrap everything,
Yeah.
would I be able in the error to print something like this as well?
Yeah. So
So this is
that would bring you back towards the match that we had originally.
right. Right. Because when we used the question mark, we couldn't, like, it took care of like the okay and the error.
Yes.
But if we didn't have the question mark and we had match, we could say okay just gives us the file.
Yep.
To do stuff later in the function.
And you could actually do more stuff with that okay. Like, we just wrote okf arrow f.
Yeah,
but you can actually put a whole block right there. You could have a special message there that says, "I successfully opened the file. Here it is."
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, here you
go. Okay, and then I would be able to, in the error, type something to the effect of, like, failed to open file.
Yes.
Are you sure you spelled it right, or something stupid like that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I think I'm understanding now.
And if you were really ambitious, you could say, kind of like the compiler does, you could like list that directory and be like, possible options. And if you're really ambitious, you can compare each of the options to what they passed in and be like, it looks like you might have forgotten an X.
Yeah. Possible user error. Please replace user and try again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's cool. All right. I think I'm understanding result, or at least what we just did, a little bit better.
Okay.
Result was just like a generic. It's just a generic type that you can return.
Yes.
And that holds, because it's an enum, not a type, or it's a type of enum.
So enum. So the two type the two. I'll just say types that you can define. User defined types in Rust are enums and structs.
Okay.
So a struct always looks the same. Enums are allowed to have these variants inside of them.
Okay, so result is just an enum.
Yes.
That can return as many types as you want it to return.
Well,
an enum.
An enum is that what you mean?
I meant I don't know what I meant. Hold on, wait, let me try again.
Okay.
Is result a special type of enum?
No.
Okay.
Well, okay. I guess it's a little special in the way that it interacts with the question mark. Okay. But in a general sense, it is not special. Like, it's not really built into the language in any special way. It's just provided by the standard library. Like, the result that we wrote first with the generics is literally what result looks like in the standard library.
Okay.
So that's the cool thing, is like you could define your own enum in this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So result is just an enum, and in this case, the enum included an OK variant or an error variant.
Yep.
And we removed that from our function and just used unwrap.
Yes.
For some reason.
Well, it simplified the return type of your function.
Right.
Right. Remember, your function used to return a result.
Our function used to return a result.
Yeah.
Right. instead of just returning the things,
Yeah.
right? Okay, cool. Just making sure.
I mean, we could put it back. If you liked it better the other way, we could put it back. I just thought this
No,
might be nice.
I'm just trying to understand the
Yeah.
difference because at a basic level, it didn't. Now it doesn't really seem like at this point it really doesn't. It just kind of seems like a design choice of the
Yes,
function.
definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Totally.
It's just a design choice because if I wanted to, yeah, okay, that's fine.
So one other benefit of this is if you look at your main function now,
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice that we're not using question mark in there.
Right. Yeah.
So you can actually get rid of the arrow, and you can get rid of the OK at the end.
Get rid of the arrow. Oh, like I could get rid of the arrow and then this stuff here
Yes,
and then the
yes.
OK.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
that's basically the reason that we, in my view at least, that we did this is like we can actually completely dispense with results entirely, and we can just have a plain main. We can have a plain function signature on LoGeom, and we can just deal with the values directly.
All right, Mr. Krabs. Okay. All right. I think I'm actually feeling a lot better about that now that I understand what result is and what
Yeah.
all of that was, because it just kind of felt like it was just a lot of syntax, or at
Yes.
least a lot of words that I just could not. I just was unable to. I couldn't really think about it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's literally a lot of syntax. Like you have to know basically about generics because that's what the less than greater than means.
Yeah.
You had to learn about tuples today because
Yeah.
that's what the parentheses mean. You
Yeah.
had to learn about extracting values from variants, which is
Right,
what
yeah.
like the parentheses on
Right.
OK are.
Right.
And it was all tied up with this little tiny bit of syntax in the question mark operator that was doing like a lot of magic for us.
Yeah. Right.
So yes, that it was a lot. It was a lot.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, it keeps screaming at me about this result being here, so I'm gonna delete this.
Yep, just delete that.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna delete this too, just for fun.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
And I'll delete that.
Beautiful.
Money.
Simple.
That's so cool. Look at that, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I think you did a really good. We did a good amount of refactoring today.
Yeah.
I think that this is probably a good place to stop, at least for this, because it's just a clean, easy. We refactored. I learned a little bit about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think I was able to wrap my head around result finally.
Yeah, great.
Now, it seems like such a trivial thing, but also there's so much syntax involved
Yes.
and a lot of magic that can be applied to your functions.
Yep.
I think that was really neat to learn about, just because like the question mark in and of itself does that, like solves 4 lines of code. It feels like it took care of 4 lines of code, and then result had its own stuff, but now we're not using the result because if it doesn't do what we want, it'll just panic and for some reason and cry and boohoo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's really neat. I mean, and I guess it's good. I think knowing or taking this forward when we move to the rest of Project 1 for the Crawford projects, I think it'll make more sense going forward.
Good.
With returning stuff.
Yes. I think we had a lot of stuff to work out with return values, and I think that should be good. Now you should be able to pretty fearlessly make new functions. I guess the only lingering thing is still passing an argument.
Yes.
But we can cross that bridge when we get there.
We can burn that bridge when we get to it. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, then I guess. Actually, does this look any different than what I changed earlier? I want to go ahead and.
Yeah. So we can actually look at another feature of Maggot here. You can actually extend your previous commit. So if you stage that change, or do you want to make a new commit, or do you just want to like extend the previous one?
No, I would just like to extend the previous one.
Okay. So if you hit C. And then I think it's E, but we'll check the little menu that pops up. Yeah, E for extend. It'll just merge that in with the last one.
Nice. And now I want to go make sure I go ahead and push it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and hit Shift P and then P to push to Origin Master.
Yep.
On. Look at that.
Nice. It's on
Easy
GitHub.
money.
Everybody go
It's
look.
It's on GitHub. I'll make sure to put that in the description of my video.
Yeah.
If you wanna follow along for some Rust quantum chemistry, I'll be sure to put that downstairs.
Very good.
All right. Well,
all right.
Thank
Awesome.
you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.